Hello, everyone. This is Martin, and welcome back to another weekly update video review of some of the trading opportunities that I'm looking at. And we're going to go through all the charts in just a second. Before we do that, last week was an interesting week because Great Britain, England lowered its central bank rate by 1/4% midweek, and that caused the strength in the USD. Obviously, the British pound lost quite a bit, became much more weaker after that major economic news event. So, with the US gaining strength, that changed all the direction of the major pairs, where the US is one side of the pair, and so as of Wednesday, all the currency pairs reversed their direction, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens this week if that direction continues, or it's going to go sideways for a couple of days and then continue in its direction after England lowered its interest rate. So we're going to take a look at the charts. We'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, before I do that, um, just quickly wanted to show you one thing. For some of you that don't know how to keep track of major events, such as central banks lowering or upgrading their interest rates and other events, news with regards to employment news, um, and so on and so forth, what you can do is go to Forex Factory. You can see that right here. Go to the calendar tab right here, click on that, and you can see that all the information for the upcoming week is actually labeled here in order according to the time zone that you're in. This case is the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So you can see here starting with Sunday, Monday, August the 1st. I'm going to scroll down. You can see all the events, all the news events that come out. And coming back to the other thing that was very important last week, beside Great Britain reducing its interest rate, was the fact that on Friday we had the non-farm payrolls and the employment news for the Canadian economy. So taking a look here at Friday, August the 5th, you can see that. Okay, you can see that at 8:30 in the morning, right over here. Uh, the non-farm payroll right here, that's the employment change. It was quite a huge positive number, 255,000 jobs created. The forecast was 180,000, so quite a big jump, and that certainly gave a huge boost to the U.S. currency. On the other hand, on the reverse side, the Canadian dollar, you can see the employment change, and that gathered a lot of news in the media here in Canada. We lost 31,000 jobs. You can see that where my pointer is right there. It had been forecast that we would actually gain 10,000 new jobs, but in fact, we completely went the other way. We lost over 31,000, as well as the trade balance was a negative position right here. So these two negative numbers, and you can see when the news comes out and it's in red, then that's generally really bad for the currency. And if the number is really good, um, and it's green, you can see that right here with the 255,000 extra jobs for last month, and that is generally good for the currency. So one way of trading, of course, is a weak currency, the CAD, against strong currency. In this case, the US currency was the big winner. You could have made a lot of pips just based on that knowledge. So again, go to forexfactory.com, click on the calendar tab. The beginning of every week, you should anyways do this. Have a quick look to see what major events are coming up for the following week. Okay, so now we're going to again switch to the charts, and again, we're going to start with the Euro USD weekly. You can see that last week there was a bearish candle. Okay, I'm just gonna, there we go, gonna zoom in a bit. Bit of a bearish candle. Okay, So with this bearish candle, it closed just below the 50. You can see that right there. I'm going to switch to the daily, and again, you can see price is below the 50s, below the 21 and the 8. Although price looking at this arrangement of the moving averages, price is really in a sideways mode. I mean, from here it could go up again a bit and then come back down. My bias is to the downside just because of what's happened. With the euro, euro kind of followed in the steps of the British pound after they reduced their interest rate. So I kind of almost expect the euro to continue going down, but it may go up or sideways first. So with this one, it's a wait and see situation, or you want to sell, take a sell trade below the 110.60, which is right about there. Let me just take a look. 110.60 right about there, or if you're really conservative, sell below 110.50, which is a little bit below here, and you can almost expect price to come back down and retest the support here with the gray rectangle and this long-term trend line. Okay, so that's what we can expect there. Now the next pair is the British pound USD, and that was the big story last week. You can see on the weekly, it was a weekly engulfing candle, okay? And so that's an indication that price is going to keep going down much further. Let's switch to the daily, and there you can see the daily. However, the daily is now, and this is the Friday here, we have the trading on Wednesday, everything was bearish with the British pound, but now we are kind of stuck at the support zone. We kind of almost have to wait and see if price is going to bounce up a little bit higher or retest the trend line. You notice that on the daily chart, we did break the trend line, which does indicate further downward pressure on the British pound. However, price always comes back to retest, and we're looking for either a retest and a bearish evidence to the downside. We can also switch to the H4 charts. Let's take a look, everyone, guys. Okay, so you can see we're right at support here. And again, if you want to take a sell trade, you could do a sell trade below the 129.80, which is down here. Okay, so you could do that. Um, the other thing is just wait and see what happens, see if price comes back a little bit higher. It may just do that because here we had kind of a bullish reversal candle right here. It's an inside bar. Price did come back on the Friday. This is the last 4 hour candle here. So price may go sideways a bit or up a little bit higher, up to this red, anywhere up to this red sell zone, and then you can look for another bearish candle to the downside, giving you the evidence that price is going to continue going down. Let's switch to the daily again. And if it goes down, it's got a bit of a ways to go. Price may go down all the way, see, to the previous swing low here. So that's good, 200 pips or more. So once price breaks this area right here, price has a long way to go, and this looks like a pretty good setup here. Also want to show you the LEOD chart. You can see with the day before, that on the Thursday right here with this black candle, it did break below the yellow line, the lower yellow line here. So it looks like price is going to continue going down lower, and the RSI blue line is below the yellow sentiment line here as well. You can see that, okay? Okay. And so it looks like it's going to go down, but you might want to wait for just a wee bit of a retrace if you're a very conservative trader and just wait and see. Now we switch to the Australian US weekly. Here, I'm just going to zoom in a bit, okay? And here you can see price seems to be trending higher. However, this is a bit of a doji, so price buyers took price all the way up here to the resistance. You can see it met up with the moving average, 100 moving average. Uh, and that's after during the week. Price was all the way down here. Buyers came in here, brought price all the way back up to the resistance. It's closed now higher than the previous weekly candle. So it seems like price is going to go higher, but let's take a look at the daily, and you can see on the daily charts, price did close just again and bounce off from the resistance. So price may go down sideways, may go sideways or down a bit. I kind of think price is going to go higher toward the upper trend line here, and it just depends on when you want to get in. So I'm kind of thinking that you could take a breakout above the 0.7680, and that is 76.80. Okay, so you're looking at a break of the high of this wick right here, for price to go higher. See, once price breaks the previous swing high here, it's going to go a lot higher. And the other thing is, or you can just wait for more evidence to see if price comes back down, and then you could look for a breakout to the upside. Going to using a lower chart, such as the H4, okay, you can see that right here. I'm going to, so what if you're using the H4 charts, what you want to do is you're waiting for the pullback, which is what's happened, like just like here. Take a look to the previous swing high. It went up. It's now pulling back, pulling back. You're looking for a breakout candle, okay? Let me just, there you go. This candle, do you see this engulfing candle? This completely engulfs the previous black candle here, and from there, taking a trade in the open of the next candle would have gotten you quite a bit of pips. So we're looking for the same thing again. Let me just switch that to here. Um, so far we're looking for a breakout. We don't have a swing up and down yet. Like, we don't have really another peak over here, but that's what we're looking for. We're actually looking for a breakout above this candle. Okay, see this candle right here? Okay, so that would be a breakout above the 76 40 area, 76.50. Okay, and once price breaks up above there, we're good to go, most likely to the upper trend line. You can see price is basically swinging back and forth, high to low, high to mid, high, maybe back a little bit lower, but between the this is between the two channel trend lines. Okay, so that's what I see there on the again, the LEOD charts clearly show you that we've reached the resistance. So price may come down a wee bit, retest back down here, and then come right back up through here. And if it does break out above here, we're looking at the next area. Okay, up in this area right here. So still good for 90, 80, 90, 100 pips, up to at least a 0.7750, 77.60. Okay, so that's what we're looking for there. And now we swing to the New Zealand weekly chart. Okay. Okay, here you can see last week we closed with just a wee bit of a bearish candlestick, which just indicates a bit of a pullback after the previous week, a huge bullish engulfing candle indicating more upward pressure to the upside. So switching to the daily, you can see that the last week's bearish candle was as a result of this pullback. However, price looks pretty good still. Price is still above the 50 simple moving average. It's above the 21, and what we're looking for again is a pullback and breakout of this trend line. Once it breaks out, we're going to come to at least a previous swing high here, which would be good for at least 100 pips. And if it breaks here, it's going to go much further. So that's what we're looking for. This again is called the simple swing pullback, okay? Price went up and up and up, and now it's pulled back. We're just waiting for price to either come back down to this reddish. You see this red? Uh, it actually should be, sorry, it should be green. Let me just change that to green. Okay, there we go. So this really is a buy zone. So if price comes back down all the way here or just above the 50, then we're looking for buying evidence to the upside. And again, price, like I say, may come back down to about here, come back up, and then finally break this trend line uh, around here before going much higher. So that's what we're looking for there. And next one is the US CAD. Now, the US CAD, that was a big mover last week. Again, two reasons. Good numbers for the US employment numbers, bad numbers for the Canadian employment numbers. Uh, cause and effect situation here where we have one strong currency trading against another weak currency, and because the U.S. Strengthened because of the good news last week, you can see this huge on this weekly chart, this huge um, bullish engulfing candle. Can you see that right there? And it kind of comes right off and closes above the 21. So looks like price is going to go higher, although it's grinding. You can see this pair. Just look back the last 8-9 days here. Down, up by not that much, down again, up, barely up. And these are the weekly candlesticks. Down again, up. This the first good up movement over the previous one, two, three candles. Now we have a down pullback, and again we're closing higher than previous. So it's just grinding its way slowly. I still see some more upside movement. You can see on the daily, it did come off the previously I had indicated the buy zone down here. So it has gone up quite a bit. And on the daily, you can see this candle is higher, and its daily range was much greater than the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in total. You can see that. So this one candle basically as a result of the economic news from the United States, the bad news from Canada on the Friday, okay? And so we expect further movement to the upside, and you can also see that on the LEOD charts, let's just do that for a second. Again, you see that closed just above the yellow line right here. You can see down here, the blue RSI has not quite gotten up above the yellow, kind of given us a bit of a caution. The MACD, though, is well above zero. So the one thing you can do is if you are aggressive, you can take a buy trade right now. Or I've got a great tip because of this huge move. You can always take a buy. You can always place buy limit orders. These are pending orders at different stages along retracement of the daily range here. So I'm talking about stacked buy limit orders, which means you would place one small size lot, maybe right about there. You see the top of that this wick with this black candle. Okay, so uh, the first pending buy limit order would be just above there. Okay, and that's in case price comes back with the Sunday Monday trading, or on Tuesday comes back down just a little bit but does not come down any further and then takes off like a rocket ship toward the upper trend line. So the first pending buy limit order might be right around there, the 131.50 mark. The next one about half, just above the halfway of the daily range of this candle. So around the 131 let's say 10 mark, okay, right around there. And you can even place one more small size lot even further down, about 2/3 down, right around there somewhere. So if price for whatever reason comes back down, and and you're lucky enough to hit your buy limit order way down here, and then if price goes back and reverses to the upside for the trend to continue, then you're really laughing because you've caught price as at a deep retrace rather than taking a breakout a buy trade right above here. Okay, so that's just a tip called, you're placing pending buy limit orders. You're stacking them uh, um, down along the daily range of this bullish candle. So the first one would be around there, right around there. First one, second one, third one, and they would all be small size lots. Okay, so I'm not talking about big size lots because that could get you in trouble. Talking about small size lots. So if you are if you normally trade whatever, then just divide that by three, and that would be your first buy limit order right here. Okay, so carrying on, we're going to take a quick look at that is the LEOD. So now we jump to the US Swiss franc weekly. Okay, again, you can see with the U.S. strength because of the good economic news last week, and also because of the British pound taking a hit. We had a good bullish candle last week, showing that bulls have now come in and stopped the sellers here the previous week from going down further. So bulls have come back in on the daily chart. You can see we had as of the British decision midweek, we've had some really good strong up candles, and I expect price to go higher. However, caution, we are in kind of a send sideways to trending higher mode. Take a look right here with this red dash line. This is the 200, so you might see price go up higher just to about there, and then as a magnet, it will draw price there, but price usually bounces off the 200 first before going higher. So you may see price go up, then down again, and then you can look for bullish evidence to the upside. And if that happens, price will come up to about here and to test the upper trend line. You see with the previous swing high. Here's another previous swing high. But take a look at this long-term trend line, upper trend line. I'm just going to minimize that. You can see that. See this? This is as a result of this huge previous swing high up here, another previous swing high up here. So this is a long-term. If you're forecasting or anticipating where price could eventually go, it eventually could go much higher up to here, and if it breaks this area, then higher up to here. So this is what I see with this pair. Okay, and now we're going to go to, oh, let's just switch there. See, you can see on the LEOD, it often gives you a much clearer idea as to where price may go. We've not broken the above the top yellow line here, and that's why I say caution. We're in a sideways to higher trend bias. However, you might want to wait for evidence. Price may come back down a bit before going higher. And again, there we've got the 200 over here. Okay, so now we move to the the USD Japanese yen weekly. Overall, we're still in a bearish mode here. I mean, price has gone up, down, up. These are weekly candles. 2 weeks ago, we had a huge weekly bearish candle, and as expected, we have a bit of a rest here. There's a fight going on between the buyers and the sellers. Sellers so far are still in kind of control because buyers, even though they did take it off the support here, they were not able to bring it much higher. Let's switch to the daily chart, and you can see that price has just, these are very small candles. So remember, we had the previous Friday, huge bearish candle, another big bearish candle here. One, two, three small bullish candles, which we have not closed above this area above this previous black candle, like above the open of this previous black candle. Okay, so we've not gone higher yet. So I do expect price to go higher. Perhaps could go as high as the sell zone right here, this red triangle, before coming back down again. And this is what we're looking for on the daily chart. We're looking for a breakout to the downside below the trend line. If you're on the 4-hour chart, if you're going down to, or even lower time frames, you would always draw a trend line, wait for a break to the downside. In this case, I see on the H4 at least, we have a good opportunity for a counter trend trade. I believe price is actually going to, from here, since price closed above the 21, price may have a good chance to go up all the way toward the 50 here to retest this area. And I'm just going to show you something really quickly. Okay, so, and again, that would be my first sell zone right there. Let me just, okay, there we go. So, at least price could come to about this area and then bounce down, and that's what. And then, as you're anticipating price to go higher, you're going to start drawing in a trend line. You're going to look for the trend line break before price coming back down. But if you can get in here somewhere, you would make at least from here to here. And if it breaks this area, you're in a trade really early. You're going to be making a lot of pips. So that's how you're waiting for a this is called again a swing pullback, break of the trend line to the downside. Okay, and again, your resistance areas as price is going higher, your resistance is this red resistance zone here. Okay, and I might even want to do something. Might want to just pull that up a little bit higher. So yeah, your resistance zone could be anywhere up to this red zone. Notice the confluence of the 50 SMA. And also take a look here. We've got the 200 moving average. So anywhere here, price could actually go all the way up to here before bouncing to the downside. Okay, so that's what I see for this week. Hopefully your trading is going well. Last week was a pretty good week, I'm sure, for a lot of you. This week, if you follow some of the information I'm giving you, you should be able to take some good trades as well. If you have any questions, please give me a call or email me, and I'll be very happy to help you. Until I hear from you, take care. Happy trading. All the best. Bye bye.